Where is it? Where? Sam, I've got it. What's happening, internet? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Adrian, aka Fomex Cosplay. We are now 3 episodes into Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I decided why not make several cosplays about Captain America's best friend. This is my kind of closet cosplay for the Winter Soldier. I'm going to go over how I made it, the kind of things I struggled with, how you would be able to make it yourself, and without further ado, let's get creative. If you like my content, please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe to my channel. The very first step in making a Winter Soldier arm involves making a template, which I will do by making a cast of my own arm. First thing I do is I wrap my entire arm in cling wrap. Better if you have someone to do it for you, but I'm doing this solo, the way the Winter Soldier would. Once my arm's nice and wrapped, I then create a second layer out of duct tape, which will allow me to sketch my templates out in black marker. Once your arm's fully taped up, this next part gets a bit tricky. You're gonna have to cut yourself out. Be careful with the scissors. Make sure that you don't crumple the tape because that's gonna make the templates not as accurate anymore. Cut it out in one straight line so it detaches. Once you finish taping your arm cast shut once again, it's now time to sketch the template. I'm looking at several reference images off screen, which would allow me to get the right lining. Make sure that you sketch the biceps, triceps, deltoids, forearms, and the bend where you intend to bend your arm, in addition to the Winter Soldier detailing, of course. Once your template's nice and sketched, it's now time to cut it out. When you draw your template, make sure that you label each part. So in my case, I numbered it 1 to 22 each piece so I know which piece connects to what. The biceps are a separate group of pieces. I also drew connecting lines so I know where to reattach each piece, how to connect each piece. In addition, of course, to the numbers that I labeled each individual piece. This way, when I glue the foam pieces together, it's gonna end up being like a jigsaw puzzle. Each piece should have its own companions. After cutting out the duct tape template, I then retraced it on clean pieces of paper. This would allow me to have proper templates which are clear, easy to read, and easy to connect. I ended up having a difficult time with this because my tape template pieces weren't exactly accurate. So when I transferred it to paper, I had to do some readjusting, which you will see in the next part. Once I got all of the tape templates turned into paper templates, I then went to work taping the paper templates together so I could get a feel of if it was accurate or not, and if it wasn't exactly a one-to-one fit for each piece, I would have to overlap certain areas just so that I could compensate and adjust. And I taped them together so that they would stay, so that when I traced it over the foam and then when I cut that out, it was gonna be accurate. Once all of my templates were ready, I then moved on to placing it on top of EVA foam for the main upper arm, as well as craft foam for the bottom arm. This wasn't my cleanest work, so I have to say that it wasn't perfect. It wasn't a perfect fit either, but don't worry, because if you have enough craft foam, you can fix anything. Doesn't mean I didn't try to get the measurements right the first time, and it really helped having these shapes already in place. The easier pieces, I tried gluing together with hot glue, and then those that wouldn't glue together, I had to use contact cement, which smells a lot, so make sure you're in a well-ventilated area when you use contact cement. But it's very effective in gluing together pieces that are an awkward shape. Key thing to remember when working with the EVA foam is you have to shape everything with a heat gun or a hair dryer, but that's less effective. Once it's shaped, you apply contact cement, wait for that to dry, and then you stick the pieces together as you roll it on the table. There we have our arm, nice and assembled. We have the upper part, which is made entirely of EVA foam, and the bottom part, which is made out of craft foam. But as you can see, it's not perfect, doesn't exactly look like what's on screen, and it doesn't exactly look like a forearm either. So I have to go over it again with craft foam. So I cut out craft foam pieces and then just glued it down with hot glue in order to make the arm more screen accurate and more to my liking. And it really did help to bring out certain details which kind of disappeared with the way that I formed the armor using the templates. This is actually my first time using that method of creating a template, so maybe next time it'll be more accurate and a smoother build all around. Once the arm was fully assembled, I then added several straps using elastic bands. This main one would serve as my connector, which I would wear under my right arm. I also used 2 elastic bands to attach the forearm to the upper arm because I didn't want it to be 2 separate pieces. I wanted to wear it just like one sleeve. And then I added an inner elastic band for the area under the armpit. Once the main arm was built, I then moved on to the hand, which in this case is a work glove. I was just going to glue craft foam bits on top of it, and I started with the knuckle area made out of several hexagonal shapes. Once that was ready, I then made the upper part of the hand, which is about 3 or 4 layers of craft foam just stacked on top of each other, as well as 2 strips along the sides and 1 to mark the wrist, because I knew that most of it would disappear inside the arm, so I had to have a demarcation line of where the glove would show. I also added texturing at the bottom, inside of the hand, and once all the foam pieces were assembled, I then heat sealed it with a heat gun, just run over it with the heat. And once that was ready, it was time to paint. To recap, so far we needed to wrap our hands in order to make a cast from which we would make our template. Cut the template out, transfer that to the EVA foam, cut and glue the EVA and craft foam pieces together, heat seal it, and then now we're outside painting. First with 2 layers of rubber seal spray paint, which will serve as our primer, just so it hardens and so that we have a nice good base which we can paint on. Once that's nice and dry, I then sprayed it with mirror chrome spray paint, which I really like, although since I'm not using it on a car, it doesn't really shine as much as I want it to, but it does shine, which is why I still use it. It's shinier than ordinary silver paint. I went over that again with 2 more layers and then left it out to dry. Fully dry, I then brought it back inside and started working on painting in the finer details. The problem with painting outside is if it's windy, you start getting bubbles in your paint, which happens a lot to me, unfortunately, so just keep that in mind. But I could cover it up even a little bit with this gold perma paint. Just go over the arm with several layers so it covers over the silver paint. And what's important here is you follow all of the outlines and the cut areas, because the gold in Winter Soldier's arm is actually meant to cover all of the gaps between the armor plating. So that's what we're trying to simulate here. Once that was done, I went back outside for 1 or 2 more layers of clear coat spray paint, which I didn't show anymore, just to protect the paint from chipping. And once that was done, voila! Here we have our Winter Soldier arm in its entirety. As you can see, I can move at my wrist, I can move and bend at my upper arm and lower arm, I can move side to side, I can lift my shoulder. So as far as points of articulation go, I'm actually pretty articulate in this. It's kind of like wearing a cast, but it's not so bad. I really like it, and I'd say it's wearable to the cons, if that's still gonna be a thing. I sure hope so. As for the rest of the cosplay, this is more of a casual take on Bucky's new look rather than a tactical Winter Soldier look. So I just wore black cargo pants, black boots, a dark blue shirt, as well as a black jacket. And that's pretty much it. That's the whole cosplay, as well as Winter Soldier's most important piece, his arm. And that was how I made my Winter Soldier arm from Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Once again, if you like my content, please do leave a like, comment, definitely subscribe, check out my Etsy for any templates that you might want. And until next time, props to you and costumes too. Peace.